Time now for the Executive Edge. Autism Speaks. Best buddies in Special Olympics are joining forces to launch a new inclusion campaign. The Delivering Jobs initiative seeks to create 1 million new employment opportunities for people with developmental differences by 2025. Joining us now to talk more about the pledge, Angela Geiger, President and CEO old friend of NBC, obviously, Autism Speaks. It's great to have you. And
Thank you.
What should we talk about first? The size of the issue that we're dealing with, or the way that we're going to try to actually do that? How many people are we talking about now?
We're estimating about 6.5 million Americans have autism, some kind of development disorder or intellectual disability, and as many as 80% of them are unemployed or underemployed.
80% of the 6 million.
Yep.
And in New Jersey, 1 out of 40 boys born. I'm not sure why that is, but whether it's more diagnosis or what. But nationwide, what is the statistics? More boys than girls, but we're talking about 1 out of 200, would you say, or?
Yeah, for autism specifically, that's true. But we're also talking about people with other differences as well. And I think the most important thing about this Delivering Jobs initiative is it really is about these are people who are employable. They can be great
But
employees.
it's not one size fits all. Even with the disabilities, I would think that
not.
autism is different. Within autism, it's such a wide spectrum in terms of skills, and you can be barely affected, or you can be nonverbal, completely affected.
Yeah, there are people who live incredibly independently and actually see autism as a gift, and there's other people who need 24/7 care and really wish life was different. But the important thing about this Delivering Jobs initiative is we're asking all kinds of employers to take the pledge, because there's people who can be superheroes in the tech industry, and there's people who can be really reliable people in pick and pack facilities. And because there are so many differences, you really can fit into this job market wherever it makes sense for you.
What's the feedback you get from employers at this point?
The great thing is employers are finding that employees like these are reliable, that you retain them, and especially with the younger workforce, they're so used to inclusion that there's an expectation that people are included in the workforce just like they were in their schools growing up.
Well, that's the other thing. How are we doing with secondary education and then in college education for specifically autism spectrum disorders? There's been more attention there, I think, than after you get out of school, right?
Yeah, one of the things that we definitely know is that you starting to really think about what happens after high school is really important, beginning as early as 14. And one of the biggest predictors of having a job after you finish school or graduate college is having employment while you're in college. And that's why Autism Speaks and Best Buddies and Special Olympics, along with support from the EIF Foundation and SunTrust, who actually gave the funding to launch this, are really focused on getting people with these disorders ready to have jobs, getting employers ready to welcome them, and creating a community that's more inclusive.
Autism Speaks, is there social components that you try to put together?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's important too.
You know, one of the things that we've been finding and hearing from employers is that people are doing great at the core job, but those softer skills in the job, who you have lunch with or going out to happy hour, that having that buddy there can really make a difference in that.
Just like at school and college.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because the numbers are only going to increase, and they can either be very, very productive people. And I don't know how you get to the point where they can form lasting relationships too, and because not a lot successfully marry often, do they? What's the percentages there? Is it as high? Is it 20% are able to do that?
I actually don't know the answer to that question, but I do know that with work over time, people are able to figure out ways to connect. Sometimes that's not necessarily one-on-one conversation. Maybe it's doing things together, like riding a bike or working on a project.
Friends in it. I mean, parents. This is all parents think about. I can tell you that. So. Autism Speaks does great work, but you have a lot of work to still do. Where does the research stand right now that you've been funding? It's genetically linked, I know.
A lot of autism is genetically linked. There's still so much to unlock. Our whole genome sequencing program, Missing, is completed our sequencing for now, and we're really starting to find important things like certain genes may cause a higher incidence of seizures. So as a parent to be looking out for that when your kids are young, as an example.
Bob's still involved, I'm sure.
Yeah, Bob's still a great supporter.
Give him our best. We haven't seen him in a while. Angela, thanks for everything, and it's one of the most important things that I think we can try to focus on. 6.5 million people
Yep.
right now.
Yep.
Okay, and it could be either very productive or it can be, actually not as productive and something that we're going to have to take care of in a different way. So,
So we'd love employers to go to #DeliveringJobs and take the pledge.
#DeliveringJobs.
You got it.